Getting out of credit card debt. A simple plan to become debt-free. Imagine opening your credit card statement. You owe $4,000. You make a payment every month. But somehow the balance barely moves, and then you use the card again because an unexpected bill shows up. That's how credit card debt can become a cycle. But here's the good news. You don't need to become rich overnight to get out of credit card debt. You need a plan. In this video, I'll show you a simple step-by-step strategy to stop the debt from growing, pay it down faster, and eventually get your financial freedom back. And stay until the end, because I'll show you one mistake that can completely destroy your progress. Step 1. WorksThe. The first step sounds obvious, but it's the one most people skip. Stop adding new debt. If you're paying off a credit card while continuing to use it for everyday purchases, you're basically trying to empty a bathtub while the faucet is still running. So before you focus on paying the balance down, create a temporary rule. No unnecessary purchases on the credit card. Groceries, rent, utilities, and emergencies may be different depending on your situation. But things like impulse shopping, expensive takeout, subscriptions you don't need, and random online purchases should be put on pause. The goal isn't to punish yourself. The goal is to create some breathing room, because every new purchase makes your debt harder to eliminate. Step 2, know your numbers. Now grab a piece of paper or open a spreadsheet and write down every credit card you have. For each card, record 4 things: the balance, the interest rate, the minimum payment, and the payment due date. Don't guess. Use your actual statements. You might discover that one card has a $900 balance, another has $2,000, and another has $3,500. Now you can see the real problem instead of just feeling like you're drowning in debt. Next, add up all your minimum payments. That's your minimum monthly debt obligation. Knowing this number is important because your plan has to fit inside your actual budget. Step 3, build a basic budget. Now let's talk about your budget. You don't need a complicated financial spreadsheet. Start with 3 categories: essential expenses, debt payments, and everything else. Essential expenses include things like housing, food, transportation, utilities, and insurance. Then you have your minimum debt payments. After that comes everything else. Here's where you need to be honest. Look through the last 30 days of your bank and credit card statements. You may find money disappearing in places you barely notice. A few streaming subscriptions, frequent delivery orders, impulse purchases. Shopping you forgot about. None of these expenses necessarily looks huge by itself, but together they can represent hundreds of dollars every month, and that money could become your debt payoff money. Step 4, choose your payoff method. Now you need a strategy. There are 2 popular approaches. The first is called the debt snowball. With the snowball method, you pay the minimum on every debt, then put any extra money toward your smallest balance. Once that balance is gone, you take the money you were paying on it and roll it into the next debt. It's called a snowball because your payment gets bigger as you eliminate each balance. The second method is the debt avalanche. Instead of targeting the smallest balance, you target the credit card with the highest interest rate first. Mathematically, this can save you more money on interest. But here's the important part. The best method is the one you can actually stick with. If seeing a small balance disappear motivates you, the snowball may work well. If saving as much interest as possible is your priority, the avalanche may make more sense. Pick one. Then stay consistent. Step 5, pay more than the minimum. Here's where things start changing. Paying only the minimum can keep you in debt for a very long time depending on your balance and interest rate. So look for ways to create an extra monthly payment. Maybe you reduce unnecessary spending by $100. Maybe you earn an extra $150 from occasional work. Maybe you sell things you no longer use. Maybe you redirect a subscription payment. You don't need to find thousands of dollars. Even an extra $50 or $100 can become meaningful when you consistently apply it toward your debt. The key word is consistency. Don't make one huge payment and then go back to the same spending habits. Build a system you can repeat every month. Step 6, create a small emergency buffer. Now here's something people often get wrong. They throw every available dollar at their credit cards, then their car breaks down, or they get an unexpected bill, and suddenly they're forced to use the credit card again. That's why having some emergency savings can help prevent you from going right back into debt. The exact amount depends on your situation. Start with a small, realistic buffer. The purpose isn't to build a huge savings account overnight. It's to create a little protection against unexpected expenses while you're working on your debt. Once your financial situation becomes more stable, you can focus more aggressively on both debt payoff and savings. Step 7. Be careful with balance transfers and consolidation. You may have heard about balance transfers or debt consolidation. These options can sometimes help, but don't assume that moving debt automatically makes it disappear. A balance transfer may come with fees and promotional terms, and if you transfer the balance but continue spending on the old card, you could end up with an even bigger problem. Debt consolidation can also have different fees, rates, and terms depending on the product. So, before accepting any offer, understand the interest rate, fees, promotional period, repayment terms, and what happens when the promotional period ends. The goal isn't simply to move your debt. The goal is to reduce the cost and actually pay it off. Step 8. Automate your plan. Here's one of the easiest ways to stay consistent. Automate your payments. Set up at least the required payment so you don't accidentally miss a due date. Then, if your budget allows, schedule your extra debt payment around your payday. That way, you don't have to rely on motivation every month, because motivation disappears. Systems don't. You want your debt payoff plan to become boring. Boring is good. Boring means you're making progress without constantly thinking about it. The biggest mistake to avoid. Don't celebrate paying off one credit card by immediately spending that money again. That's how people end up back where they started. Instead, when one card reaches zero, take the payment you were making and redirect it toward your next financial goal. That could be your next credit card, emergency savings, or eventually investing for the future. Remember, getting out of credit card debt isn't about finding one magical trick. It's about stopping new debt, knowing your numbers, choosing a strategy, paying consistently, and building habits that keep you from going back. You don't have to fix your entire financial life tomorrow. You just need to make the next smart move. Start with one card, one payment, 1 month at a time.